Hello, everyone. Long time no see. I am currently in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I wanted to wear my sexy red dress because I literally never wear it, and I have it. So I was like, okay, pull it out. I mean, pull out the dress. You know what I mean? Um, so I'm staying at this Airbnb, and we have an amazing, gorgeous view. If you've been checking my stories, we are on the 20th floor, and I see the lake, I see the soccer field. It is a mountain view, but you can also see all of the houses below, which is, oh, it's really nice. My dreams have been really vivid here. I've been dreaming a lot. I took a nap today and I dreamed. I was like, oh, okay, it's like that. Anyways, so today, of course, besides major updates, I wanted to do a little Bingpod about being a digital nomad because I'm really back in it. And I thought it would be nice to kind of retell my story, if that makes sense. So I started teaching officially English, I guess, when I was in graduate school. But that's so interesting because whenever people ask me, oh, when did you start teaching? I always say, oh, I've always been something of a teacher. Like people have always asked me for questions and answers. Like people have always come to me in French class. People would line up to copy me, and same in math sometimes. I'm not saying I was perfect all the time, but yeah, I've always been a brain, I guess. A brain, a beauty, and a brawn. And so I started tutoring while I was in high school to make extra cash, and that went well. Good relationships. It's honestly glorified babysitting. And then in graduate school, I was a TA because I needed the tuition and fee remission. And then I started teaching English, like volunteering for a nonprofit that was binational in San Diego and in Tijuana. And so that was when I really started focusing on English. And I think I've always commanded a room. I've always been a leader, an authority figure, and now I'm just honing my skills and gaining more and more experience. And after graduate school, like the job market, as we all know, has been impossible for forever. So I didn't get a job and I went to Thailand. I don't know what happened. I was in a panic. And I contacted an agency, which I'm discussing with my friend now. Don't do that because the agency has no class. I'll just say that. They're only looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for the teachers or the students. Um, yeah, so I went with this agency and we started teaching. And I realized I really didn't like teaching with the agency, with the other teachers that were there. They were really gross and toxic. I think I've talked about that before. And I think teaching children is really exhausting, especially the way we were doing it and the way it was at my school. It was just like a group of, we used to call like they're baboons. They used to call themselves baboons, and the other teachers call them monkeys. And I think it's post COVID and just poor parenting styles over the generations. Kids are just insane these days. So it's just so exhausting. I would go home at like 3. I feel like I would smoke and then I would pass out and then I would wake up to go and like get dinner and then I would smoke again. And of course in the end I missed the kids, but it didn't take away from the fact that it was just not for me. It was so exhausting. And so after Thailand, I took a note from the other teachers because they would do teaching online as a side hustle. And so I started doing that, and it was during dire circumstances. Like I had bills to pay. I've been in credit to her debt, and I pay it down and then it comes back up. Look, I'm not alone in that. I'm not the first. I'm certainly not the last. I'm not in the worst condition. But yeah, I had to work hard so I could pay for things like shelter and food and bills, and I made it. So I teach on a website. It's Ukrainian, and I think I've even written about this before. They take out huge commission when you start, and you can never get your commission down to zero. They'll always take a little bit, and you'll never get paid for a trial lesson, which, has its limits. And then it's like it's up to the gods. It's all luck. Are we going to get students? Are the students going to stay? Are they going to return? So, yeah, I feel like that's why it's not who I am and it's not forever. Not that it's like a placeholder. I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to get paid. And, I have good students, I have good relationships with my students. But I was just talking with my other friend. There's definitely more for us out there. And so now I'm doing it again, and I'm kind of under, I don't want to say duress, but yeah, we have bills to pay. We need to feed ourselves. We need to stay inside somewhere. We need to have a bed or a room. And yeah, last time around it was really rough. And this time around, I think it's tough again because my technology's old again. That's always tough when you're just trying to make it and it's like against all odds, we be making it. And at the same time, I'm really grateful for this modality because, I mean, who gets to do what I do? I am in Malaysia, I get to work online, I get to meet people from around the world and then connect them, and I get to learn about other cultures, and I get to help people who are serious about improving their lives, their work, their skills, and so on and so forth. And now I'm kind of at a place where I really want to grow and expand. And so we'll just see how it all goes. I feel like so much is up in the air these days. Like, no one knows anything because everything is always changing. And my friend was just saying, like, would you teach English in China? And I was like, that's such an interesting thought because English teachers in China have a great life. They have such a good life. And I have so much really good and fantastic experience. I don't even think that I would have to work like in a school. I could probably work for like, I don't know, like an elevated program, if you know what I mean. I think that would be really nice. I don't know how it all works. Again, China and I have been at odds for my entire life. So, but it is a thought. We really are witnessing the decline of the West, especially the States, and we are really seeing the rise of China. Not that it hasn't been happening, it's been happening for a long time, but we're really seeing it. It's really like in our faces now. Like, no one can deny it. And I see so many people like want to go to China, want to be more Chinese. People are Chinese maxing. I'm like, I've Chinese maxed before. I'm Chinese. I speak a little. And out here in Malaysia, they see me, they're like, you are Chinese. You speak Chinese. And when I don't, people are like, what's going on with that? And then I have to explain, yes, I'm Chinese. No, I wasn't born in the US, but I am American. Yes, I've been back to China. So it's just a mess. I speak a little, but I speak Beijing Hua. So I have a very strange dialect, I would say. Yeah, and reflecting on my time in Beijing, Beijing was insane. But I was also like a student living an unhinged life. So I don't know. I think you and we didn't have kitchens. We had to go to the canteen, and the canteen would always like make us like go to the bathroom immediately. You have to eat. We had 4 hours. I've talked about this before. We have 4 hours of intensive lessons, and then you run to the canteen because you're starving, and then you scarf down the oiliest food in the world, and then you run across the street to the toilet to where you live, and you have to pass out, take a nap, and you wake up in the evening to, I don't know, drink and go out for dinner, go out for KTV. But yeah, I think these days it might be even nice to go back into the firewall just so you don't have to think about the politics and the geopolitics and the economy of it all. And yeah, I think China's they just have a more flexible and resilient financial system, and they can I don't know if it's a command economy. It's probably not, but when you have a certain amount of command over things, you're able to do things. You're not just like at the whims of some random crazy guy. I mean, you know. So we'll see. My friend said, not to not to out anybody, but they said they were, and I could foresee this. I wouldn't say it, I wouldn't speak it into existence, but I too had a very, very challenging and what did they say? Grim time in Vietnam. I too, I too had a rough time in Vietnam. And maybe it was the timing, but it's also the culture. And there's just a lot of scams, and there's like not as much, I guess, integrity as some people like me and my friend are used to. And when you are in the middle of getting scammed, you genuinely don't even understand. Like when I was being like asked for more money, I didn't even understand what was going on. The Australians were like, he wants more money. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he's like demanding. And I was like, okay. Like you genuinely don't even understand the culture because it's just not something that you deal with. I feel like in America you're so used to like a stable price. Like even when I was in China the first time, I don't feel comfortable with the back and forth negotiations, and maybe it's time to get out of my comfort zone. And I have been, a little bit of an entrepreneurial business woman with it all. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, don't you think the world is insane when I watch my reporters, my journalists, my independent news outlets? They too are like, am I insane, guys? Is everybody losing their minds? Have we lost the plot? Is anything normal? Or are we just in free fall? And then it's also at the same time, I feel so nice to be in Malaysia because it's like not like that at all. People are super chill. Again, I came here because it's peaceful and it's tolerant and diverse, and because they have domestic oil. That was like a huge thing. They have Petronas. I did post about my little birthday at the Petronas Twin Towers. So you can check out my TikTok, my Substack, BJRUNI. What else? Oh yeah, follow me on YouTube and let me know what's up with you. What are your plans? I think that being a digital nomad, even though I did have to begin this journey under a lot of duress. I feel like at the same time I just wrote about this, sometimes the climb is what brings you to the peak, and you got to be grateful for it. Because yes, I did not get a job out of university after struggling to get my master's degree and working throughout. So like I wasn't new to work. I feel like some people graduate university and they've never worked, and they just go straight into investment banking, lacrosse, lacrosse, Segway, pipeline banking. And a lot of people do that. And I worked throughout university. I even worked when I was in China. I like lectured once. It's crazy. I worked in Japan. I worked in France. I worked in Thailand. I worked everywhere. So, and it's also part of it is that I know that to support the lifestyle that I love and deserve and I'm worthy of, that I'm I need money. I need money so I can eat. I need money so I can stay in a nice place. I've even been told by a man that I was seeing that, oh, you have expensive taste. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Life can get it. Life costs money. I think you do have to be willing to spend. You got to spend money to make money for real. These days, I've really been in on the management, leadership, entrepreneurial, I guess the self-help and professional development books. And when you get to this level, it's mindset. It's so interesting. I flipped through the books. I went to Kinokuniya, Surya, KLCC. Love Kinokuniya. And I flipped through, I was like looking at all the books, and it's like not even about finances, it's mindset. It's mindset, it's presence, it's state of being. It's just like a different, it's like a whole game. Not a game, it's not even a game. It's just a whole new playing field, I feel, which I think I've already got and I've been ready for. So that's why I'm really in this moment of, okay, what's next for me? Okay, I'm really grateful that I'm making it. Like, I can pay every time I need to pay a debt, I can pay the debt and I can pay for food. So I just am grateful for that. And now I really want to make more so I can feel more secure. And then you just have to feel secure. And then things will, and feel abundant and be abundant. And then things will come. So yeah, and I think it's, oh, there they go. It's the praise be Allah. It's very loud. Asia's very loud for me. I'm really, again, I'm really in that I would love an apartment to myself in the city, in a quiet area, close to restaurants and shops and transportation, like public transportation. Like, I'm really trying to get there. I do feel like it is really nice to be a digital nomad. At the same time, it's kind of exhausting to always be moving around and never truly have a comfortable place to land, if that makes sense. And I haven't been comfortable in a very long time with regards to living situations, and I'll just speak this into existence that I'm ready to be in a comfortable place that's my own place, that I can feel free and at peace in. And I feel not envious, but I definitely feel like I've gotten to a point in my life where I could live in a place and curate a home, if that makes sense. Like, I I mean, in storage I have paintings, but I have never truly like decorated or done any interior design. But at this level right now where I'm at, and maybe it's just all the time I spend in malls. I go to Nitori or Muji and I sit down and I look at the home goods section and I admire the furniture. I'm like, oh, like an office chair and like a nice desk, a comfortable chair, like a comfortable bed, like a dresser, wardrobe, a vanity. Like, I think I'm really honing in. Not that I don't have like a Pinterest board and a vision board already, but yeah, I think, and maybe it's just your 20s where you're moving around. Like, this is just a part of being in your 20s, but I definitely think I'm moving towards slowing down. Maybe not settling down forever and permanently, but can't I just have like a year and a half where I'm comfortable in a place and I get used to something? I think it's not too much to ask. I think like a lot of people can do that. If other people can do it, what about me? I think another thing that I have to be really grateful for, and I always talk about it with my friend, that we're so lucky and privileged to be women making our own money, making our own decisions, not being tied to anybody or anything or any whatever. And we can do what we want. Like, we can do what we want. I mean, what I want is definitely something bigger and better. But, you know, for us to be able to pick up and leave and go to a different country, I feel like not everybody gets to do that. And then also to not have to be tied to like a partner and have to factor in a partner is so nice. Because what a drag. What a drag. And at the same time, I feel like sometimes, oh, it'd be really nice to share. I wrote about that and I experienced that for my birthday. Oh, it might be nice to share a meal, you know? And at the same time, things need to be quality. Like, I cannot deal with low frequency people. Like, it actually gives me a headache. Gives me a headache. My friend agrees. My friend's like, I can't with some people. Like, I can't even deal with it. Like, we've really like gotten to a point in our lives, and maybe I'm a little mature because I know some of my other friends, they haven't gotten there yet and they're my age. But we've gotten to a point where I can't even be around you. I can't let you in my life. I can't let you have access to me if you are going to bring me down. And no one is going to bring me down. Kiki Palmer's so funny. She's an icon. I was talking about on stream recently because I stream on TikTok. I feel pretty good about that. I don't know. Who knew? Who knew that it was going to be someone like that? This was what I was going to end up doing. But honestly, with the way I grew up watching YouTube, you know, doing that type of stuff, it kind of makes sense. Now that we're in it, it makes sense. Here we are. We've been preparing all of our life, and now we're here. And I didn't think it was going to be like this, but it is. So yeah, on stream I was like, I could be a pop star, I could be a movie star, I could be a model, I could be a fashion icon, and I also feel like I could be more and bring more to the table. I feel like modern culture is quite washed, if that makes any sense. Like, there's so many nepo babies and you know a fake meritocracy, that all of the tech AI bros who are the business leaders are shitty businessmen. They don't know how to run a business. And the people who are the Nepo babies don't know how to do art, don't know how to act, don't know how to do it. And they're blocking out people who actually can do things from the industry, which is so frustrating. Whatever. Whatever. There's a huge shift. There's a shift in celebrity. I know y'all are feeling that the traditional, I mean, what even is traditional at this point? Like, humanity hasn't existed for that long. But what what we what I grew up with as celebrity is no longer being as revered and as central to the public mind. I think it's especially evident with whenever Taylor does something, like the Taylor Travis Madison Square Garden wedding. What else is going down? What else is going down with celebrity? I feel like also when you see like unconventional, non-traditional people really rise, like I guess Addison Rae is an interesting example, but definitely Trisha Paytas, how she's like stayed in the public eye just for living her life and no, being herself, being her crazy self, and she still is doing it and successful. I mean, I know she's been through her crying on the floor moments as well. Haven't we all? Yes. it's just an interesting time. There's so many shifts. Let me know what you are noticing. What have you noticed? What are the shifts? I think the advice that I've been getting is to keep going, which is so like, okay, that's the advice I've been getting for a really long time. And I do feel like, I manifested being in Malaysia. Like, I thought about it, I set out to do it. And now I'm here. And I've done it. I do have to like pause and acknowledge my my vision and my success. I feel like I get so frustrated with the negatives sometimes. So I think the next move is Bali. Something that's really interesting is that the rupiah totally collapsed due to poor like leadership, government mismanagement, and Indonesia's been going through a tough time for a few years. You remember the youth protests, and so the rupiah is way down, and I feel like it would be interesting. I know people have very strong thoughts about Bali. I feel like a lot of people don't like Bali because it's been over touristed and it's essentially like Koh Samui, Thailand, where it's all Western foreign people who have like completely overrun the place. And there even when I was out here last time, because I stayed in Jakarta for a month teaching and struggling, but the struggle, it does pay off. I mean, what can we say? So people always disrespect the local customs, traditions, and religions. And I remember even last time it was the Russians, and in Thailand these days it's the Russians. So I just don't understand what's going on. I feel like I can't associate with these types of people. Uh, I just don't. I don't vibe with that. I'm at a higher frequency. So I would really hope that I get to meet people who are at that level. But who knows? Who knows? I have no idea. It looks kind of nice. It looks like I could get a nice place, maybe to myself, that I could afford, hopefully. I think so. And still work. I think the work part of it is really good for me because, like I said, like I tell people, it does produce good, a win win. Like, I win, I get to do something good, I get to get paid, and the people that I work with get to also be productive and grow in their lives. And to have something to do that's meaningful, I think that is actually really important to, to a human. I remember last time I was in Malaysia and I was really just hostel hopping and being like a little degenerate. You really get lost in the sauce. Like, you completely lose yourself in other people and places, and you sometimes maybe, and I never got in my, well, I was lucky and I was safe. And some people get themselves into worse situations. But yeah, you can really get yourself into situations that aren't great. And so now, okay, no, I'm not super happy with the people here that I have to share space with. But at the same time, it's interesting how old patterns or archetypes return to, uh I feel like it's a test, but also to prove, oh, it's proof. It's proof of evolution because, and I made a rant video about it when it happened initially. I feel like people step to me and they think they can push me around because they can. And in the past, I kind of have more of I've had a fawning response because of my upbringing, where I've kind of had to do a lot of like emotional caring for others and like, you know, bobbing and weaving, and I don't have to do that anymore, and like really stood up for myself last time, and it makes me like think about the previous times and how it could have been way worse. I feel like people underestimate. I think people take kindness for weakness. I think also people don't think that as someone who is, yes, I'm beautiful, yes, I'm very smart, and yes, I'm very kind and polite and all of those things, but I can also fight you. I feel like people forget that. I feel like people get into some false sense of security, and I think these days it's time to not take bullshit. I think we just don't have the time for that. We don't have the time, we don't have the energy. We're at a higher level. And in the past, I would say, "Oh, what's going on?" But now it's time to be like, "No, you shut the fuck up. No, 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 you first. No, 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 you. Why are you're coming at me? No, no, no. Now it's time for me to put you in the hot seat because you thought you could step to me. No, 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 you can't step to me." I feel like it reveals people's insecurities and how they're like sitting in their darkness and they think they can overpower you. And I think it's a really ugly, demonic, evil thing. And I think people then feel really shameful and guilty and they don't know how to deal with it because they've done it to us. Like you've done it to us. You've made this uncomfortable. I I didn't I didn't intend on starting anything. I was just being myself. But you decided to blow something out of the water and now it's time for you know, the tide to roll in. So yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's just training me because as a motherfucking business woman, I may have to like stand my fucking ground because of course, especially in Asia, people be pushing people around. Um I think also at the same time, it makes you understand who is right for you or what situations are right for you. And you could sometimes I have pretty good discernment. Sometimes I can feel when something's off, and it's definitely grown stronger and stronger over the years and over the many experiences and interactions that I've had. But when it comes to a head like that for really no reason, I think it really shows you like, oh, no, thank you. And I guess I was teaching. I don't know what it is like. It's like when you're with children, you immediately become some sort of older figure. And so when I was in Penang, we had some lessons. We had some lessons to learn and to teach to the child. And what I said is you really need to think about, money is power and knowledge is power. So who you interact with and how they treat you is a reflection of themselves, and it shows you in these cases who do you want to do business with. Do you want to give someone who's disrespected you and made you uncomfortable your money? Like, the example is we were at a beach in Penang, so in the north, and it was, what was it, it was Ferengi. Is that what it's called? It's like Batu Ferengi. It's yeah, Batu Ferengi. It's like a beach, and we saw the fire show, and there's restaurants. It honestly felt very Thailand. And it was really hot. We got there too early, which I had already said we went to an animal petting zoo, and I'd already said at that place, are we in a rush? Like, do we need to rush to the next location? And no, we weren't in a rush. And we still got there too early that it was so hot that everybody was too uncomfortable to sit down. Like, it was actually boiling hot. It's Malaysia. And so we're kind of trying to stay near the shops in the shade, and we passed by a shop, and the shops are, beach gear. It's like swimsuits, water guns, this type of stuff. And the child, he's like 10. He's a child. He's like playing with one of the items. It's like a what is it? A fishing rod, like a child toy fishing rod. Again, I don't think he was being super aggressive, but whatever. It's not really that, it wasn't even the issue. Whatever. But this really, and I don't need to comment on bodies, but let's just say a a larger woman came up to us, and she said, she was just really rude. Like, she stepped to us in such an aggressive and unfriendly, unwelcoming way, and she it was essentially like, break it, you buy it. Which, okay, sure. Even if we broke it and bought it, that's money for you. But it was the attitude that made us uncomfortable. And then the child, he's a very respectful child. He was like, okay, sorry, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I didn't say anything. I mean, this really isn't my place. Of course, like, maybe I'm the adult, but like, I'm in Malaysia. Like, again, as an American, we're fighting bitches. So, anyways, we leave the shop, and the kid starts to, I don't know, fool around in the sand, whatever. And I was just saying, sure, break it, you buy it. Could have been nicer. And the child, and it's so interesting because children are so perceptive. I feel like we forget. The child said, I think she thought we were rich, which is a really interesting observation. One that I often, I need to be, I need people to point it out to me because I never think that. I'm never like, I'm rich. I'm never like that. But yes, I do think when you're out here, my friend has said this as well. Okay, I'm American. I look Chinese. I speak Chinese. I speak a little Thai. I know some words in Malaysian, but I'm American. I get paid in US dollars. I'm from Los Angeles, California. And that does come with like heavy Western privileges, and they can feel that, and they don't like that. A lot of times they really don't like that, and we get disrespected. And there have been times where people are very rude to me, and I'm their customer. I'm trying to buy something from them. It's just pretty ridiculous. And so it's obviously, it's insecurity, it's like inferiority, superiority, whatever. I still said, it's just bad business. Think about how you're treating your customers, how you make people feel, and then will they want to spend money at your shop? It's just, that's just ridiculous. And then, especially like, if you do think someone's rich, make them, spend. Very, very strange, very strange um dynamics out here sometimes. Yes, it gets like that. And I don't ever feel like, oh, I feel like people project onto me, oh, teacher, I think you're a rich girl. I don't know what that's all about. I pay my debts. Like, I feel like sometimes I barely make it. I've been very lucky and very blessed, but I'm not out here driving a BMW, you know? I've never even owned a car. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I hold myself or carry myself. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I groom myself. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Honestly, it's none of my business because maybe I am. Maybe I'm rich in experiences. Maybe I'm rich in quality friendships because now that I'm at the big 27, I it's more and more you realize that quality people are, what is it, few and far between, I would say. And if you mess around with people who aren't quality people, or people who are at your level, it's just going to ruin your time, and I don't have time for that. So yeah, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I'm feeling good, and then sometimes I get very down because I owe so much money. I know a lot of people owe money. I know economic times are really tough. The thing is what I think about is, Mother Earth will always have fruits to bear. Does that make sense? Like, she's never running out of trees. I know there's deforestation, but in general, I mean, in the world, there's so many, you think about it, there's so many people, there's so many things. Money is like a they've made it artificially scarce in the US. I definitely think so. I think I need to really level up the money mindset and the money making mindset, because in this day and age, you can do anything. Like, I know it's just my friends and family mainly right now, but yeah, I can get gifts on TikTok, and I can get, paid subscribers to my Substack. I can find opportunities here and there. Yeah, I teach online, and there's so many other, ways that the river has fractals, I would say. Income streams, diversifying income streams. I know I've been on that for a while, but it's also been a while since I've done a Bingpod, so it's good to kind of get back to it, update y'all, let y'all know what's up. So I only have 1, 2, 3 more days here, I think, and then I'm moving to another on the other side. So if KL is the city center, I'm on the cusp of one side of the city center in like a neighboring place, and I'm going to move to like the cusp on another side, which is really nice. I spent my 27th birthday in the city center, and it was like overwhelming. I was like, the traffic is awful. There's too many people, and there's just too much going on. There's just way too much going on. Um, it is nice to be able to live simply. I've mentioned it before, but and sometimes I think, oh, I could really use a new shirt or a new pair of like sneakers, for example. And then I would have to think about acquiring a new item in the inventory, and fitting it into the inventory, and then also carrying it around, having it as another thing to hold. Yeah. And so there's a lot that goes into it. And at the same time, I think it will be nice to get back to a longer term lifestyle and a steady place type of lifestyle. I guess I'm really craving that these days, because bouncing around from place to place when there's something that disturbs you to your core about the place, like, some of these places are really nice and I'm really grateful to be here. I'm blessed, and there's something that is not right for me that really doesn't makes me be like, okay, I'm ready for the next place. And I think after Bali, my friend said that Taiwan could be a good option. We'll see about the weather of it all, and we'll see about, because I have conferences that may occur. We'll see how it all goes. I feel like everything is up in the air these days, and it really makes you think about, what are we all doing this for? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What, what is the Jeremy? What is it? Culhane from SNL. He's like, what's going on? What's the goal here? What are we doing? That's literally what's going on. Like, what are we doing? What is the goal here? I feel like I'm doing what I need to do and what I'm meant to do, so good for me. And we'll just continue. We'll just continue on, keep calm and carry on. There are like no distractions in my life too. It's like making moves constantly. I mean, I guess I scroll TikTok, but I also make money off of TikTok. It's just so interesting how it all is these days. I f- I saw something recently. I saw a TikTok, but also I watch like the news. I watch people on YouTube who talk about the state of everything. Genuinely, things have changed in every single year. Things are changing rapidly. Yes, it's exhausting, and it also really speaks to the fact that you cannot listen to a lot of traditional advice. Like the old adage of, have you gone in and like applied to a job? That doesn't work. It's not even an option these days. And I'm grateful because I think the people in my life are pretty understanding of where I've been at. And, I make it work. I'm trying to do what I need to do. I think, yeah, people also agree when I say, okay, well, I started, making videos or streaming or writing on Substack. I think people really get it these days, even more so because everything's shifting and, like, for example, tech is collapsing or there are always layoffs. And so nothing feels certain or secure anymore. So you really have to do it yourself for yourself. How about that? Okay. I think I'm ready to eat dinner. I got groceries. I was also talking about how you really have to be so strategic with everything. Like, I'm going to get groceries and it's going to cover this many days, and I'm going to eat this for this meal. I'm going to eat this for this meal so that I have enough groceries for while I'm here. And then also not have to carry anything or like waste anything or leave anything behind for my next place because I don't really want to do that. The Filipino girl, she just she got her visa approved and she's going back to Indonesia, and she was like, "Oh, do you want the eggs? I'll leave them." I was like, "Yes." Slay. I love that. We love some eggs. Yeah, and so meals secured for some time. And then yeah, out here it's kind of gluttonous, if that makes any sense. I think it's because the food is so good and so cheap and so plentiful and so diverse that you can really go all out. I've heard it's the same in Taiwan. I know it's the same in China, Japan, that you could really gain a lot of weight and you can really be very gluttonous. And I don't feel so gluttonous these days because I don't feel like I can eat the heavy foods these days. I get very full very quickly, and I don't know. I just need a little bit. I just need a little bit. I definitely feel comfortable with what I make. It's veg heavy because I'm a vegetable girl. But yeah, the noodles out here can be really heavy. Sometimes, oh, the meat and rice dishes, I feel like those are really heavy for me. Like it's literally just carbs and protein. I feel like it's so heavy. Um it's good. It gets a little repetitive. Sometimes in the life I'm competitive. I've been watching the FIFA drama and, cultural impact of it all. I really like Mbappe. I think he's great. And so have all my students. My students are super into FIFA, or sometimes they're not into FIFA. So that's interesting. I think it's nice to have a little bit of humanity unity. Sometimes, like the Olympics is another example of that. Very interesting. Let me know what you think about the rise of China, the decline of the West. I think it's really nice where I'm at, I guess. I am. I feel like I need to stop overthinking. I saw uh Jer- Jensen Huang, Nvidia founder and CEO, say the skills are going to be the valuable skills are not engineering and data. It's going to be about intuition. Can you work it out? Can you feel it out? And baby, I can do that. I do that. Why am I always super successful when I go on a TikTok? I mean, a TikTok streaming marathon for tarot reading. People love that. In my last big marathon stream, it was pretty exhausting. But it started with one of my mods being like, "Oh, you should pull a card to see what's going on with Mitch McConnell." And I did, and then it was 3 hours straight of requests. And I was like, "Oh wow, okay. I guess we're really doing this." I didn't know. I didn't know. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Hey, if it if it works, it works. If it works, it works. What can I say? What can I say? What did I do? Yeah, so interesting. And my demographics are also really interesting. I feel like it's like young girls and then young men, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I I feel like I'm really just building. I feel like I'm in a building era. I'm a building and expansion era. And yeah, I've got the foundation, and now what, you know? I think it's going to get bigger and better. One thing that would be so nice is if I could, I don't know, get stays in really nice fancy hotels. I feel like that would be so nice. And of course, we'll see because I do see Bali being really nice already. We'll just see. We'll just see how everything goes. I Malaysia's really comfortable. I just feel it already. Like people are. I that's what the prime minister said in the news. He was like, Malaysians are complacent. I was like, oh, that's fine. But yeah, I understand. You need to be growing and exploring, and again, the climb leads to the peak. So yeah, I appreciate your support. Let's get this bread, and let's see what the future holds. I think it's going to be good. I hope that there is a beautiful life waiting for me soon. Soon. Okay, thank you. Love you. Bye.